Oh, you're waking up. Hello. Stop thrashing around, please. I know how to tie someone to a bed. You're not gonna break free. I said stop thrashing around. Please. You're tied to that bed. Might as well come to terms with it. I could torture you for hours on end, and you couldn't do a thing to stop me. So if you don't want that to happen, you need to behave. Much better. Now, I know you'll have a lot of questions. Everyone always does. And I could remove your gag and let you ask whatever may be troubling your mind. But you all always ask the same questions. Who are you? Where am I? Are you going to hurt me? Why did you kidnap me? Well, darling, I am Caldwell. My name probably doesn't ring any bells, though. You never notice me. I don't think I can call myself a coworker, but we do work in the same building. I am a part of the cleaning staff. People always act like we're invisible. I can't even blame you for not recognizing me. As for where you are, well, you're in my guest room. I know it's not very big, but with my salary, it's all I could afford. If I had finished my degree, I could have gotten a better place to live, but destiny had something different in store for me. Now, continuing with the third question, it's probably the one you're most worried about, right? Will I hurt you? Will I make you suffer and bleed and scream in pain through your gag? Well, maybe. It depends on you, really. If you do what I want you to do, I'll treat you better than anyone has ever treated anyone else. But if you don't do what I want, I don't have much left to lose, to be honest. Make that what you will. And I guess that takes us to our last question. Why did I kidnap you? Well, would it make sense if I said it was because I loved you? Yeah, I thought so. So the long explanation, it's this. Okay, buckle up. You see, I have something called OLD, or obsessive love disorder. Some psychologists say it's a subtype of OCD. Some say it's not a real thing, but that doesn't really matter to you now. You probably don't want to hear me rant about this. The important thing is this. You see, due to my little disorder, when I fall in love with someone, I don't just fall in love like regular people. I get insanely obsessed with that person to a completely unhealthy degree, some would say. They turn my entire world around. I can only think about them. I forget to eat because I'm busy thinking about the person I love. I stop sleeping because every second of sleep is a second that my darling isn't on my mind. It's like if you took the good and bad things of being in love and multiplied them by 1,000. But you see, I don't only spend the whole time thinking about the person I love, I also get extremely possessive and jealous over them, even if we aren't dating, or if they don't even know that I exist. I can't stand the idea of them being with anyone else, talking or even thinking about anyone else. I want them to be as obsessed with me as I am with them. And that's when things begin to get a little dangerous for everyone. I stalk them, I memorize their tastes and routines, I bug their phones and break into their homes, and eventually I end up kidnapping them. And this time, my darling, it was you who I fell in love with. As you probably gathered, you are not the first person that I kidnap. You are, in fact, the fourth one. but you're going to be the last one. I will make you fall in love with me. And if this time I still can't make my darling fall in love with me, that just means that I am truly unlovable. And so I will erase myself from existence. Huh? What's that look in your eyes, my darling? Is that compassion I see, or is it just wishful thinking on my part? I mean, you're such a kind person. I wouldn't be surprised if you felt sorry for the person who has kidnapped you and threatened to torture you just a few minutes ago. But I wouldn't be so fast to feel sympathy, my love. The three others that came before you are dead now. I don't plan on killing you, although I didn't plan on killing the others. It's just, it happened. They forced my hand, my darling. I didn't want to do. I just wanted them to love me. That's all I ever wanted. Love. I kidnapped my first darling when I was in high school. She and I, we were friends since elementary. As kids, we were inseparable. I was convinced that we were going to get married and have a happy life together, but unfortunately, she had a different idea. Once we began high school, she started spending less and less time with me. High school is hard. I'm sure she is just studying, I said to myself, like the idiot blinded by love that I was. Then I saw her flirting with another guy, but I told myself that she was just being nice. She was a very charismatic person. And a few days later, I saw her kiss that same guy, and the veil that was in front of my eyes disappeared. I waited for my traitorous friend after class, knocked her out, and took her to my home. Do you know how stressful it is to have someone unwillingly tied down to your bed when you still live with your parents? Unfortunately for my friend, my parents never cared a lot about me. They didn't even enter my room since an incident I will tell you about another day. So they didn't even notice what was going on. As for my friend, I tried to make her love me. I really tried. I stole food from the kitchen to feed her every day. I told her time and time again how much I loved her. I reminisced. I reminisced with them stories of our childhood. Because they were tied to my bed, we had to sleep together, and I always wrapped my arms around her, hoping that they would feel my love through the drugs. I had to drug her, because otherwise they would begin thrashing around as soon as I touched her. But I promise you, despite that, I never forced myself on them. I may be a monster, but I'm not that kind of monster. And one day, my parents weren't home, so I took her gag off and we had a conversation. But that conversation quickly turned into screaming, and she began shouting that I was crazy, that she hated me, and she basically told me to either kill her or set her free because they would never love me. And I followed their advice, my darling. I did what she told me. I took my pillow and I suffocated her to death with it. And once she stopped moving and the weight of what I had done dawned upon me, I hugged their corpse as hard as I could and cried for hours on end. Don't look at me like that, darling, because the second one is even more disturbing. This time I was at college. She was a classmate of mine, beautiful as the sun itself, As you can probably imagine, I got obsessed with her and kidnapped her too. This time, at least, I wasn't living with my parents. I will spare you the boring details, the weeks trying to get her to love me in any way I could think of, the tears and the threats, the desperation, the heartache. I could go on for hours, but I don't want to bore you. I know what you want to know, the ending. Well, like my friend, she refused to love me, but she went a little further and tried to escape. She tried to escape from the person who loved her most, from the person who breathed for her, who lived for her. But I caught her in the act. Oh, my darling, I saw red like never before. I didn't even know I was capable of such brutality. I threw her onto the ground and slapped her with tears in my eyes and extremely hurt. The slaps turned into punches. I remember punching her over and over and over again until her face stopped being hard and turned soft and squishy, and I couldn't lift my arms. There it is. That look. Honestly, it took you long enough. I was expecting to see that horror in your eyes way sooner. Maybe we still have a chance. Maybe. But let me tell you about the last one, my darling. In a way, she was the one who hurt me the most. When I kidnapped her, she was scared and confused at first, like others before, and like you. But once I told her what was going on, she acted very differently from the rest. Just a few days after I kidnapped her, she was acting like everything was perfectly normal. She smiled at me, talked to me, said nice things to me. I began to grow hopeful. Maybe the third time was truly the charm, and only a few weeks after I kidnapped her, she told me she loved me too. Hmm. She said that she just couldn't resist someone who loved her as intensely as I did, and for some time, everything was wonderful. I really thought I had found the one, but of course, I was destined to be miserable. And after a couple of wonderful months in which we lived like an actual couple, one day I woke up tied to my bed, and my partner nowhere to be seen. And a couple hours later, I was in handcuffs. That rat didn't just pretend to love me to escape when I lowered my guard, but she also went and stabbed me in the back by turning me in. In the trial, I was deemed clinically insane, and I spent the next 2 years of my life locked up in a mental hospital. Thankfully, they didn't know about my previous two guests, but but that rat didn't escape me. Once I finally got out of that horrible place, I tracked her down. It was easier than you'd expect. Nowadays, people don't care about their privacy nearly as much as they should. I figured out where she lived, and I discovered that while I was locked up, she had gotten married. Can you believe it? 2 years was enough for this little rat to find someone, to fall in love and get married. Oh, but couldn't be me. No, never me. So I went to her house in the middle of the night and I blocked all the exits and then firebombed the place. I sat far enough away that I wouldn't be noticed and watched how the house burned down right to the ground with the rat and her loving husband inside. And unlike with the other two, this time I didn't feel the slightest bit of remorse. I didn't cry or wish I was different. I just felt at peace. That was around a year ago. Some parts of me hoped that the treason I had gone through had put an end to the obsession running through my veins, but here you are. So it is clear that my hopes were in vain. I I just want someone to love me, my darling. Well, not someone. I want you to love me. I want you and I to be happy together. I want you to smile at me, to hold me at night, and to say that you love me as much as I love you. I want to give you my full, unconditional, and everlasting love. I want to make you feel more love than you've ever been. Look at you, so beautiful and perfect, despite being tied down and gagged. If you just loved me, I would be happy for the rest of my life. We're going to die together, my darling. That is a fact. The only thing left to decide is if we're going to die today or once we're old, after having spent a wonderful life together. But that's up to you to decide. Now that you know who I am, how I am, and what I've done, who will you be, my darling? Will you be the one who asks for their death, like my childhood friend, or the one who makes me see red, like my classmate, or the one who thinks that they can get away from me, like that treacherous rat? Or maybe you will be the one who loves me, and you'll save us both.